Welcome to day 21 of our 30-day self-care challenge. Today we're going to be doing a pleasure audit. We talk a lot about stress, boundaries and habits, but pleasure is a core part of well-being too. Pleasure isn't just sex and big holidays. It's anything that makes you feel alive, warm, relaxed, excited, creative, connected, or nourished. And our pleasure audit is going to be used to do a simple check-in. It will help us understand what used to bring us joy, what brings us joy now, if anything, and how we can bring more joy and pleasure into our lives without feeling guilty. This isn't about adding more pressure to your life or adding another thing on the daily tasks that you need to do. It's about remembering you're alive and that you get to enjoy life, even when things are hard. If you have a journal, go grab it, grab a pen, a paper, so you can jot down all the different steps that we're going to be doing during this audit. Or simply think along with me about what you want to do. Step 1 is diving into your memories and remembering the things that used to be joy. So think back to your childhood, your teenage years, or your early adulthood, or just any years, months, days in your life that you've truly felt like yourself. And then ask yourself, what did I do that made me love this so much? And examples could be drawing or painting, singing or playing an instrument, just reading for hours on end, playing games or sports, walking in nature, baking or just cooking in general, or just exploring new places. Write a quick list of 5 to 10 things that used to bring you pleasure or joy. And once you've done that, put a little tick next to something that you haven't done in a long time. We'll now move on to step 2, which is what feels good right now in the present. And ask yourself, what actually feels good right now in my life? Maybe you're watching this because you don't think there's a lot, but try and think of some small things, like maybe your breakfast in the morning. Maybe you make a really good breakfast, or that one person that you can talk to hours for, a particular walk or run that you take that you really enjoy. It might be a hobby that you do, or it could simply be wrapping up at the end of a long day in your blanket, lighting a candle and watching TV. Again, try to write down a list of 5 to 10 items that you feel brings you joy and pleasure in your life right now. So even if you go for a long walk once a month, still jot this down. This probably means that you should do it more. If you're coming up blank, try and think of just 1 or 2 items, and it's okay if this feels hard. Step 3 is to rate your pleasure levels. Look at the lists you created and ask yourself an honest question. How much pleasure is in my life right now on a scale of 1 to 10? With 1 being almost none and 10 being you've maxed out. And then just write this down. It's important to know that at this stage there is no right answer, it's just your honest truth. Step 4 is that we're going to choose 1 to 2 pleasure actions. For this, we're going to look at your first list, we looked into your past, and we're going to figure out what of those pleasure items can we do. When you're looking at this list, look at what's doable for you right now, what makes you go, oh, I would really like to do that again, and what's probably most important to all of us, what's not going to cost us a lot of money or time or energy. An example of this could be to just have a nice long bath in the evening with some candles. It could be to read a book for 20 minutes every evening, or it could be going for a walk in that place that you really like, or it could be that every weekend you find a recipe and you do some baking. Baking is one of the things that I like to do because I can mix it up with a few different things. I can find a new recipe that I like. I'm eating some food that I enjoy, And then whilst I'm doing the baking, I can sing along to a song or do some silly dancing, and that joins a few things that bring me pleasure. And once you've figured out what you want to do for pleasure, just take a note of what things you want to do and how often. If you did struggle in your initial list to find things that did bring you pleasure, maybe this is an opportunity to try some new things that you think you might enjoy. Step 5 is we're going to remove any blockers. More often than not, the biggest blockers to pleasure are guilt, time, and rules. Ask yourself what usually stops you from doing the things that bring you joy, that bring you pleasure. And then you're going to write yourself one sentence, which could be, rest and pleasure help me cope better. I don't have to earn everything that brings me joy. Or it could be as simple as, even 10 minutes of joy is worth it. Pleasure can be uncomfortable to talk about, especially if you've been in survival mode for a long time. And initially you might feel really guilty, awkward, or have a little voice in the back of your head that says, I need to be doing something more productive. And the truth is that doing this is making you more productive. I have 4 questions for us to reflect on after this practice. The first is, what did you notice about your current and past sources of pleasure? The second, how much space does pleasure currently have in your life? You can rate this on a scale of 1 to 10, or you can give it a specific time. The third is, what stories do you carry about pleasure? For example, this could be that you think it's selfish and a waste of time, and that you need to earn that pleasure, that joy. And the final one is, how much different do you think your life would be if you allow yourself 10 to 20% more joy, more pleasure in your life? Well done on today. You didn't just think about self-care in a vague way. You looked honestly at where you think pleasure is missing in your life, and you've taken a couple of steps to bring 2 or 3 items back into your life to bring yourself more pleasure. It's important to remember that you don't need to earn those pleasure or joy moments in your life. You can take them whenever you want, and you're allowed to enjoy things even if everything around you isn't perfect. And these tiny moments of joy, of pleasure, can make everything else which seems so unbearable, bearable. Tomorrow, for day 22, we're going to look at mindful nutrition. We're going to look at how to bring more kindness and awareness into the way we nourish our body. And we're going to do this without setting strict rules or feeling shame. Again, well done for today, and I will see you tomorrow.